So about a couple of weeks ago, I decided I needed to have the hottest new book on the market. So I went to my favorite bookstore, the Barnes & Noble bookseller in Clifton, New Jersey, and I pull up in front, and the place is locked shut because of the COVID-19 quarantine at the time. But there's a sign out front, and on the sign it says, please call this number to order a book. So I called the number up from my car, and it's a recording, and it tells me to go online and order the book and then come back another time to pick up the book, and all that stuff. I didn't want anything to do with that. Too long. I wanted that book now. So I called the store, the main store number up. A very nice woman answered the phone. She was very nice. And I told her that, please, I need to have the hottest new book on the market right now. She says, oh, you mean that John Bolton book? I said, no, I'm talking about Stacey Abrams' book, Our Time Is Now. I need it now. She said, oh, well, let me see if we even have it in stock. So I'm on hold, I'm waiting, and she comes back on the phone, and she says, you're so lucky, we have one last book left. It's the last one left. It must be a hot seller. And I said, I want it. So I said, please, take my credit card information now, and I'll wait at the curb in front of the door, and please bring it out to me. She says, are you sure you want to do that? I recommend that you order it online and then come back another time. I said, no, I need it now. So I gave her my credit card, paid for it. I wait about 10 minutes or so. She comes out through the front door and she gives me the book. I was so happy. This is the book I've been waiting for. Stacey Abrams is one of my favorite public political leaders. Fantastic. I've loved her ever since she ran for governor of Georgia. She was fantastic. She wrote another book previously to this, and I read that one. It was fantastic. So this is Stacey Abrams. Let me just read you a little bit about who she is. Stacey Abrams is the New York Times best-selling author of Lead from the Outside. That's the book I read, her first book. And she's a serial entrepreneur, nonprofit CEO, and political leader. A tax attorney by training, she served 11 years in the Georgia House of Representatives, 7 as minority leader, and became the 2018 Democratic nominee for governor of Georgia, where she won more votes than any other Democrat in the state's history. Unfortunately, she didn't win the election because voter suppression kept her vote total down, and she was ripped off. She should be the governor today, but she's not. Stacey Abrams has launched multiple organizations devoted to voting rights, training and hiring young people of color, and tackling social issues at the state, national, and international levels. Abrams is a lifetime member of the Council on Foreign Relations and the 2012 recipient of the John F. Kennedy New Frontier Award. Abrams received degrees from Spelman College, the LBJ School of Public Affairs at the University of Texas, and Yale Law School. She is the founder of the New Georgia Project, Fair Fight Action, Fair Fight 2020, Fair Count, and the Southern Economic Advancement Project. That's Stacey Abrams, one of my favorite public leaders today. And I was rooting for her to win that Georgia governor's election. And it was a shame what happened, that she was ripped off. Now, this is a fantastic book. I think it's so important because of this particular time in our history. It's very relevant. It speaks to our current condition, our current state, and the important priorities that we must have as a nation. Let me read you a little bit here on the book jacket of what the book is about. Celebrated national leader and best-selling author Stacey Abrams offers a blueprint to end voter suppression, empower our citizens, and take back our country. A recognized expert on fair voting and civic engagement, Abrams chronicles a chilling account of how the right to vote and the principle of democracy have been and continue to be under attack. Abrams would have been the first African American woman governor, but she experienced suppression firsthand, despite running the most innovative race in modern politics as the Democratic nominee in Georgia. Abrams didn't win, but she has not conceded. The book compellingly argues for the importance of robust voter protections and elevation of identity politics, engagement in the census, and a return to moral international leadership. Our Time Is Now draws on extensive research from national organizations and renowned scholars, as well as from anecdotes from her life and those of others who have fought throughout our country's history for the power to be heard. The stakes could not be higher. Here are the concrete solutions and inspiration to stand up for who we are now. Stacey Abrams has written a book for all of us today. It's the blueprint for the future, and I recommend it highly to anyone who's interested. I'm a big fan of Stacey Abrams, and I hope she goes far in her political career. As a matter of fact, if it was up to me and I had my druthers, Democratic nominee Joe Biden would choose Stacey Abrams as his vice presidential nominee. That's my opinion, but that's just me. Anyway, I'm going to read a few passages from this book since it's so fantastic. I just want to get my nose into this book right now, and I'm going to read you some passages from this book in future additional video reading segments, Reading with Rocco. So let me get to it. I want to get reading this thing. I want to get into it. I cannot wait, and I'll be back again with passages to share.